Now, here in Nairobi, that war on insecurity is going high-tech. The Nairobi Metropolitan Ministry has now launched a 437 million shilling CCTV surveillance system to actually curb rising crime in the city. KTN's Eric Njoka with the story.
A safe, organized and secure Nairobi city. That's every resident's dream. And the government says there is now hope in the more than 50 CCTV surveillance cameras due to be installed by January next year. The 41 major locations where the surveillance cameras will be installed have been identified to curb crime and traffic offences in Nairobi.
To be frank, we are putting terrorists and those criminals on notice. Their days are actually numbered, because as soon as this project finishes, those people who will be committing crimes and those terrorists will have nowhere to hide.
The first phase of the project will cover the Central Business District, Kirinyaga Road and its environs, Community Area, Kenyatta National Hospital, Machakos Country Bus Station, Muthurwa Market and Gikomba areas. Once in place, the cameras will coordinate traffic lights to facilitate easy flow of vehicles instead of having police officers man traffic.
Let's say like Thika Road. Wezi wamekuwa wengi, like stima I've heard they are gone. Yeah, such things wezi pia. Yeah.
Nikikumbuka kama ile time ya raiding in standard, CCTV zilisaidianga sana hata tukaona tukajaribu kuona venye mambo ilikuwa inaendelea.
The project is part of the 8.5 billion shillings grant that Kenya received from Chinese government in May. Apart from Nairobi, Mombasa and Kisumu, several other key towns will also have the cameras installed in the second or third phases. At the moment, the installation will be run under a 2-year warranty by the contractor. The city of Nairobi is experiencing an increasing population by the day, and with that, the rate of crime also increases. But now, the Ministry of Metropolitan is promising change by installing CCTV surveillance cameras throughout the city of Nairobi. If that does or does not work, that's for you, the public, to judge. Eric Njoka, KTN, Nairobi.
Thanks, Eric, for that report. And joining us this evening in the KTN studios is Jamlek Kamau, Minister for Nairobi Metropolitan Development. Every Kenyan would like to know, how effective are these cameras? Have they been used elsewhere?
These cameras are going to be extremely effective because they're cameras that have been used in other places, in other countries, in fact the developed countries. And when they are complete, when the whole project is complete, we believe it's going to actually change Nairobi completely. And the cases of insecurity and cases of people going through red lights is going to be a thing of the past.
Right. And when it comes to where these cameras are going to be installed, we are looking at the Central Business District. Correct. Particularly, areas like Eastleigh, areas like Upper Hill and Industrial Area. What criteria was used to site out these areas?
The first thing that we looked at was the crime-prone areas. You know, in every city, there are those areas which appear to be more crime-prone. And that is exactly what we looked into. Of course, it's clear that we started with the CBD area, and Nairobi Metropolitan is a big area. This is the first phase. Of course, as we move on, we are going to be able to go to other phases.
Right, and is there a plan to extend this installation to other cities, Mombasa, Kisumu, let alone the fact that we have begun with Nairobi?
You reckon that I am the Minister for Nairobi Metropolitan, so I can't talk about Kisumu, Mombasa, and the rest of the places. Where I sit in my office, I take matters to do with Nairobi Metropolitan. But as a government, I think it will be important for this project to actually go outside Nairobi, including places like Garissa, where we are witnessing problems, Mombasa, and other areas in the country, so that we can be able to curb and put these criminals on notice.
Right, talking of crime, we have Thika Superhighway that has had to deal with so many issues to do with vandalism. How secure are these surveillance cameras?
You reckon that these are surveillance cameras. So for those vandals, if somebody thinks that it can come and vandalize them, before they even come to try it, the cameras will be looking at you. The cameras will be seeing you.
There are some countries where these cameras have been installed, and people who have been contracted to install them have liaised with some of these criminals, and the cameras have been actually stolen.
You see, these cameras actually are the ones we call smart cameras. They can be able to actually recognize somebody's face. And once they recognize somebody's face and somebody's coming to, vandalize them, then even before they do that, we would have actually gotten the face of the person, meaning that we are going to be able to track the person as soon as he goes to another camera site. And therefore, it's going to be pretty easy. It's going to be difficult. And I'm actually warning vandals right now, if they have the guts, let them try to vandalize our CCTV in Nairobi.
Well, thank you very much. We were speaking to Jamlek Kamau, Minister for Nairobi Metropolitan Development, enlightening us on the CCTV installation surveillance cameras in Nairobi Central Business District. And now we all know that these cameras are also going to deal with issues with traffic offences. And joining us now is KTN's Anso Mwendia to enlighten us on these traffic laws.
Thank you, Joy. Now, the amended Traffic Act has now been gazetted and will take effect this Saturday. Now, if you want to sell your car, you will have to surrender the number plate to the Kenya Revenue Authority before effecting that transfer. The Act also clarifies that the Traffic Department of the Kenya Police now stands abolished and the traffic laws will be enforced by all police officers. These amendments were designed to curb the rising cases of road crashes that claim an average of 3,000 people every year. Now, a number of clauses seek to achieve just that. And first of all, drunk driving. If you're caught driving or attempting to drive under the influence of a drink or a drug to an extent of being incapable of having proper control of the vehicle, that will attract a 10-year term in prison or a fine of 500,000 shillings, or both. And now, those people who are fond of, overlapping vehicles, if you find yourself in a traffic jam, and so you drive in a major town or city, and you have, probably seen these drivers driving through pavements, pedestrian walkways, or the petrol station to escape a traffic jam. Now, from this Saturday, this action could land you as an offender in prison for 3 months or cost you a 30,000 shilling fine, or both. Now, when it comes to speeding, the law also charges the Highway Authority to place road signs prescribing speed limits. And if a driver exceeds this limit by up to 10 kilometers per hour, more than twice, you risk having the driving license invalidated for at least 3 years. Now, exceeding that speed limit by up to 20 kilometers will attract imprisonment for 3 months and a fine of 20,000 shillings, or both. Now, PSV uniforms, of course, you have seen the matatu drivers, the matatu touts in uniforms. Now, this has become law. The drivers have to be in blue. The matatu conductors have to be in maroon uniform. And they also have to display a badge. This special badge will be issued by the Registrar of Motor Vehicles. Failure to do this, the matatu crew may go to jail for a year or pay 10,000 shillings as fine, or both. The PSV drivers will also be assessed every 2 years. Now, let's look at the motorcycles. That picture right there, very dangerous. And I believe that we have seen this in some of our roads. Now, this law, this amended law now, says that a motorcyclist and a passenger must wear a helmet, which will be prescribed by the minister in charge, and a reflector jacket. Now, the motorcycle must have third-party insurance and carry only one passenger at a time. The motorcyclist will also be licensed. Contravening this law will attract imprisonment for up to a year and a fine of 10,000 shillings. Now, for those matatus who are trying to train, the younger drivers, and so when they just, near the destination, they hand over to some strangers who, drive you to your destination. Now, this has been outlawed, and this could attract a fine of 500,000 shillings, or these people could actually go to jail for up to 10 years, or both. And that applies to the trainee as well as the driver.
Thanks a lot, Anso Mwendia. Now